Hey everybody, welcome to Life Inside Hell. I'm your host, Brother Wild Bill. I'm the prison's chaplain as well as an inmate in the worst prison in Central America, where I've been in prison for 13 years. I was a professional killer on the outside. I've been in jail for 13 years. I wanted to tell something. I was talking to somebody that I love about this happened today. This happened a long time ago. This happened like 6 months ago, but I wanted to tell the story anyway, and I wanted to make my position clear on some things. First, I want to tell something I watched this morning. This morning I watched a video on about France. It was a video on the local television news here. They pick up an international video every now and then. And there was this man, this refugee man. They were talking about the danger of the refugees in France and this was a refugee man from one of the African countries. And the man comes to a house, this is in France. It's happening in France. Man comes to the house, knocks on the door. They open the door. The woman sticks her head out. There's like a video camera outside. You can see it all. Very close, too. You can see it fairly closely. She sticks her out. She says, no. I don't know what she was saying no about. And tries to shut the door. He opens the door, pulls her outside, beats her like horribly. This was a dumpy 50-year-old woman. Beats her horribly. A young child, a 6-year-old girl, a beautiful 6-year-old child, steps out into like, I don't know, oh my God, Grandma, what's happening? And it says her granddaughter. And the man picks the child up by the throat and throws it down the street. I don't know, and then I think he goes in the house and he robs the house and he leaves. I want to be really clear about my position on that. That man should be executed immediately, without mercy. You can't compare, We'll get there in just a minute. I think that people who rob and rape innocent people like that, murder innocent people, rob, think people who are not part of the game. Like I killed people, right? I was a guy who killed fugitives and misfits of society, and that ain't right. That was wrong. I don't condone that. But that's a soldier killing other soldiers, and it's a little different than like people who murder innocent people, or even like these serial killers who are all fucked up, who go killing women. This is an unpopular opinion because I know a lot of my people follow serial killers and just love serial killers, but I want to be really clear about they should take them out back and fucking shoot them immediately. You raped 3 women and killed them, immediate execution for you. None of this waiting around shit. What? And like, I can't imagine, like, the video made me so angry. I saw it this morning. It made me so angry. That poor woman who didn't know this man. And the point they were making is how dangerous the refugees that are coming into France and Germany are. And I was speaking to someone very important to me from Poland, and they were telling me about how Poland is getting a bad name in the EU because they won't let the refugees in. But with good reason that they won't let the refugees in, because fuck. Anyway, that's one thing. The second, and then another thing. This happened as well. I'm telling this to make my own personal opinion clear. I was sitting one day, like 6 months ago. This happened to me, and I heard about this case long years ago, like in 2011. About a year after I got put in prison, I read about a case about a man named Koto, and Koto got infatuated with a young woman, kidnapped her, took her to a hotel room, repeatedly raped her for like 3 or 4 days, then killed her and took her bank card and like got money out of the bank, and they caught him and put him in jail for 40 years or something. So I was sitting there, and this man comes up. Funny thing, man comes up and sits down. He's got no eyebrows. I don't know. He shaved his eyebrows off. Because I was looking at him at first. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Something's weird. He looks weird. What is wrong? And I'm like, oh, shit, he don't got no eyebrows. And so I asked him, the fuck did you shave your eyebrows off? Because I'm that way. I'm the king in hell, so I can ask any question I want, right? So I asked him, what the fuck did you shave your eyebrows off for? And he gave me some weirdo excuse. And he's like, do you know who I am? I'm like, no. And I didn't. He said, well, I know who you are. And I'm like, well, everybody knows who I am. And who are you then? And so he says, well, I'm Koto. And that name like jogged a memory somewhere deep in the back, and we were waiting to go to the doctor is what it was. This happened maybe in January or February. And he says, and I said, Koto, well, that name's familiar to me. And he's like, I was in Pavilion 7 after you were, when you left. After you left, I'm like, are you from Cherokee? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know who you are. I'm like, like immediately, like, what a douchebag, And he says to me, he starts telling me how we're the same, he and I, and how he's a badass like me. And I said, look at me. And there's a cop sitting there, too, looking at me, because I get on well with the cops. I killed bad guys, I was a bad guy that killed other bad guys, so I got on well with the cops. And the cop's looking at me, and I'm looking at the cop, and so he keeps on with this shit. I'm like, hey, look, buddy, I just want to make you clear. I just want you to understand where we're coming from together here. If this police officer would allow me to use his pistol for just a minute, I would execute you right here without mercy, because I think you're a piece of shit. And he was like flabbergasted. Like, what? I'm like, you raped a poor girl that worked at the supermarket because she had a nice ass, and you got all freaked out about it? Should be executed immediately, without not in a dirty way. I ain't saying like chop him up or something, but shoot him in the back of the head immediately. I want to make it clear: people who rape and kill innocent people who are not part of the game. Like I was, not a mob guy at all, certainly not. And the things I did weren't right; they were terribly wrong. And I murdered people who probably deserved a second chance a hell of a lot more than I do. But I want to be really clear about the fact that I never killed anybody that wasn't part of the game. I killed other people who were involved in a criminal enterprise. And so I wouldn't even take jobs that I've had, but it was offered jobs to kill innocent people. Wouldn't take them. And so, and when I say innocent, I mean like civilians, people who are just like some guy, that's inconvenient. His life is inconvenient because he's in the way or something. No, fuck that. I'm not killing those people. And I can't imagine raping a woman. I don't know. I get a lot of attention from women, and I enjoy that attention, but I can't imagine forcing myself on a woman who really didn't want to have sexual intercourse with me. Like her screaming no would make my dick go limp. So I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to make my thoughts clear about that. I think that I'm 100% in favor of capital punishment. I think that you can't just set a thing. I think another thing is, I think that if a person can be and wishes to be actively involved in the rehabilitation, resocialization process, that person almost, no matter what crime, and I ain't talking about rape, and I ain't talking about, like I say, robbing and killing innocent people. Like the man in France that killed the poor lady, he didn't kill her, but he just beat her so senseless there and threw the child. Like, what the fuck could happen to you to make you so insensitive? These are my thoughts. If you like and subscribe to the channel, and and if you like what I'm saying, and comment. And if you don't like it, as always, I always tell you can roll it up and stick it up your ass, because I don't care if you don't like it. It's my opinion, and it's what I would do if I ran the world. We would execute people who rape women. We would execute people who molest children. We would execute people who rob and impair hard-working, normal people. That's what we would do. So, well, maybe I should say, when I rule the world. When Bill is king of the world, Bill's king in hell. Maybe one day Bill will be king of the world too. Who knows? Anything's possible. I love you guys. If you want to talk to me directly, there's an email there. You can check it out. Pull down the description box and pull in and write me at the email address there. If you want to talk about, if you want to contact my social media, there's also Instagram and Facebook there. There's also a link to a book I wrote called Long Live the Kingwildbill. If you want to read about it and know a little bit more about me and what I'm about, it's there. Also, there's a Wikipedia link that's free. You can read about me there at Wikipedia. It's mostly accurate there. So thanks, guys, for listening.